Hello everybody, my name is Eledator and welcome back to Ultimate Minecraft Polyworld, episode 444. Did you know that half the series ago, on episode 222, I completed the journey to the Farlands? That was just over 3 years ago. Wow. Alright, so here we are, we got work to do, because I was supposed to build a little log cabin or something. Because I didn't do this, or I did not succeed yesterday since I was working on compulsive terrain smoothing, making sure I have my silk touch pickaxe, and then we will just knock knock. Alright, so I don't really know what I'm doing for this. Let me just figure that out. And we'll grab some logs and the door, and we'll probably turn some of these logs into planks. Alright, so I'm thinking, how do I want to do this? It's probably just going to be a basic round thingy. No, I'm tired of doing round. We're going to make it a rectangle. Let's go back to rectangles. I can do rectangles. Rectangles, yeah. So where's the very middle? Very middle is right here. And somewhere along this point. It looks like the absolute middle is right here. Let's just put that back real fast. So there's the absolute middle. This is what we're looking at. I'm thinking of having a base of planks. Maybe. I realize I don't have a ladder. It would be wise to get a ladder in here. Yeah, we're going to make it kind of wide because if I'm dedicating that as the front, I'll do something like boop. We'll just that down real fast. And then over on this side, so there's 3 plus 3 vertical. It's gonna be a really small cabin, but that's okay. And so now I'm thinking, need more logs. So we're going to, I'm probably gonna make this wider. 7 compared to 3. Here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna bump this out. We're gonna bump each of these out by 1. So much for making it comedically small. I didn't make the snow globe large enough. That's my problem. It would have looked even worse though if I made it larger based on how I designed this one. I guess that's a positive thing. Alright, so now what we're gonna do, we're gonna set that down real fast. Alright, hold on. Let's just lay these across. I don't feel like adding depth because thinking about it, I'm gonna need to figure out how I want the corners, and I don't feel like figuring out how I want the corners. You know, it does bother me. Bothers me just enough. So what we're going to do is we're gonna add a few planks. So to take care of our corner issue, of course, I really don't have to do that. You know what I could do? Hold on. I'll hold off on the planks because I totally forgot. Mojang was nice to us. They gave us a brand new block, like 7 years ago, 6 years ago. And let's catch some Z's, reset the weather timer, because I've witnessed what happens when you do not reset the weather timer. It rains. So what we're going to do, we're going to take some of these, and look, huzzah, we got the bark. I'll take, I don't know how many I really want. Start out here. If I need more logs, I can always get some more from the box. So what we're going to do is we're going to place each of these in the corners. We're going to place them sideways. The question is how to do that sideways. So they're different orientations, but what I want is, I want the bark. I want both sides of the bark to be facing horizontal. Don't tell me I'm gonna need jungle wood for that. I wanted this out of spruce because taiga and whatnot. Huh. Is there no way? Because these only have 3 different orientations, right? Axis X, axis Z. Yeah, that's X, that's Z, and then vertical is Y. Vertical has them both be straight up. Man, well that's not cool. So I'd either have to have it be sideways on one side or the other, which kind of defeats the purpose because I wanted the 2 side pieces to be horizontal. I can't just... Yeah, because this being X and this being X are both horizontal. They're not even mirrored. Yeah, there are 3 different orientations for this. Well, I kind of just wasted some of that, but that's okay, I guess. I'll just put this back with the rest of the wood. Good thing I didn't make a whole bunch of it. Well, okay. Let's go, let's step back and undo. So what we're gonna do is, we're gonna put that away. We're no longer gonna use it. So, maybe I'm thinking about this backward. In which case, I should have moved that back in. But no, too late. So what we're going to do, if I were to have planks here, what I wanted was for the logs to be horizontal like this. I'll need to add more planks. Outer logs. I'll need to add more planks, but I'll work on that later. I just want to get the base completed. Alright, cool. So now what we're going to do, we're going to carve this up real fast. Howdy, welcome back. I could put the snow block. This does not feel very comfortable, but that's okay. That's in place, and we have something going on. So what about the windows? We're gonna have 2 windows. One there and one too. We'll need to come back later and install Linux. So what we're looking at now, day's going alright. I've been working this morning on Magiri Galka. Gotta get it done. In fact, we're also gonna have one more window there. No, we're not. No window. Alright, so we're getting progress done. So now, let's combine all these back into snow blocks real fast. Alright, so I need to lay the logs down. Put these here temporarily, because I'm just gonna zoop straight across. There is no way to minimize corruption when downgrading Minecraft worlds without manually converting everything yourself. Why are you trying to downgrade a world? And this is the part where I question, how to do this. Let's add the trim of planks on the inside though. We are out of planks. Can I turn these back into planks? Okay, let's not do that because that'll be a waste. Alright, so now for the roof. Manual patching up backwards programmatically. Hold on, let me process what exactly you mean by that. Let me grab more logs real fast. At this point, I don't even know if I'm going to want the side pieces here. If you're asking me if I know a tool that is intended for downgrading as of right now, not currently. Let's just pick all of this up real fast. Then I'll be back. I need to find a crafting table. It's also going to be time soon to get the farm going. Was I smart and I left a crafting table in here? That'd be nice. No, I did not. Alright, to the Zelenako. I don't know how many spruce stairs I have, so I'll just make more now. You know, I never added a staircase on this wall. I was supposed to put one right around here. If you're going down to 1.4.6, what version are you starting in? Nope, no crafting table in there. Did I only leave them at the back side of the warehouse? Alright, cool. So we're looking at getting some more planks. You know, I'll just make all of it while I have the opportunity. Do you know how much content you're going to lose from 1.20 if you were to make it all the way to 1.4? So many different blocks and items have been added within that time span. Hope sun's going down. I have the bed on me, but I plan on sleeping over there. I think we'll make it. Except there's a fence in the way. I should build a bridge that goes over this. You know what I could do? I could build a bridge that goes over the pathway between each of these. I feel like it's going to end up looking terrible, or we're going to stick to it anyway. We've made it this far. If you're only downgrading one MCA, only one MCA file, is there even much of a point? I feel like we have two different thought processes for this. Okay, mobs can spawn up here, so we'll put torches. This should be far enough away from the snow, that's not going to be any problem. Oh, in fact, I think I can even put torches inside. And then, ta-da! Let's see, how's the roof looking? Sleep in daylight so I can see it properly. Here's the question when it comes to downgrading, though. You downgrading just to downgrade, or are you trying to stick to legitimate ways of earning? Alright, let's get rid of this, see how it's fully looking. It's alright. This turned out kinda eh. I don't feel like doing anything else for it. So, this is where all the extra tiny little snow layers come in. Let's make this floor slightly more interesting. I feel like the cabin doesn't look great though. It's like, it should be something with the colors. There's something with color theory that doesn't seem right. Not with the wood itself, it's the way the lights and the darks are used. Okay, the ground's more interesting though. I don't want to make it too high up. One more. Y'all know me in odd numbers. And then the last thing to make this really feel like a snow globe. Let me see how high up I can reach. And so craft, what are you talking about, planks? Or are you saying the corner block? Oh wait, log, wood. It's kind of funny because it used to be called wood before it was called log, and then they added wood and renamed wood to log. And I need to hop back out here. I was trying to use the logs for, I was trying to get two horizontal pieces, but I realized that the way the orientation works, that's not possible, and it made me sad. Oh, there's one corner done. And I realize I don't even think I need to be up there. Except to put the torch back. There we go. I'll probably need to get more snow blocks. I probably should have gotten on the roof, but I plan on having little snowflakes around the edges. I was planning on having them floating up in the air, but as I think about it, that would require a lot of unnecessary block placements. Let me grab the shulker box and pick up more. I was trying to keep the log feel, but at this point, those being the only places it's utilized doesn't feel representative enough. And I cannot Halo reach. We're slowly getting there. I do indeed have an excess of snow, though. Are uncraftable tipped arrows only existing before 1.20.5? Because I saw within that version they removed all the last little, all the last of the blocks and items that were invalid. They existed in 1.21. Now, what purpose do they serve then? Was it an oversight? There we go. I'll probably just leave it as is. Let's pick up all the blocks that have fallen. I think now we're all done. Hooray! This is a tall ceiling. You know what? Here's what I'll do. If I already have the trim, it looks weird having to be 2 blocks tall. So I'll just bazoop. There we go. I mean, what purpose in the game does it serve? Because why would the item exist on a technical level? This is something with the way it handles the crafting between the potion type. I think I need something in the middle here as well. Alright, all good. Fallback for when there's no metadata. I guess that makes sense. That way you don't end up with a invalid item. I'm surprised we are indeed going to put a window back here. Y'all know me in odd numbers. Alright, cool. Now we're all set. I was originally planning on having a way to get in and out. I've changed my mind. I don't feel like setting that up. Because what I would have done was have a staircase or a ladder inside. It would go down, and then there would be a door out here. But we're just going to leave it as it is. Now it kind of looks more like a snow globe with the little snow blocks floating around. There we go. This one's now completed, and I can put all this stuff away. Travel, travel. We're going to take a look at the bounty board and see what's next to do. Because right now, now that that's completed, nothing else is on the active to-do list other than keep digging the hole. Was the nano farm a farm that exists within the smallest amount of space as possible? Hexbug Nano. I remember those commercials. Maybe I should dig up the sand. Was I using this sand here for anything? Not particularly, but having some of this dirt here bothers me. Because it's dirt and not grass. There we go. That'll look better once it turns to grass. How do you replant cocoa beans? Is cocoa beans... I feel like they're not, though. I feel like the only way to replant cocoa beans is manually. I guess I understand the visuals now. If it's constantly being bone mealed, then that means it would grow up very quickly. So you just have to keep placing it. Alright, let's make sure Dungeons and Dragons is still on. And doink. Alright, back to work. Alright, so the concept does indeed require manual input, but the input itself can be automated. Alright, so toss the logs, toss the planks. Oh man, I didn't know I had an odd number of spruce planks. Alright, toss the stairs, which I think are over here, because they are an inf-dev item. Have any more sand? Oh wait, hold on. I'm pretty sure we have stuff cooking. No drop frames, but the previews have been issues. Where is Snow? RIP, no longer here. You will be missed. Such a shame. Snow longer here didn't last very long. I don't even remember what took him out. I think it was a skelly bum. Oh well. Yeah, let's go check on the furnaces. Because I can't remember if I refilled them or if there's currently still stuff cooking in there. Because I have a bunch of furnaces on another world that I was playing on there yesterday. And I know I refilled all of those. So those are cooking. Oh, I guess I am done in here. Alright, cool. This is what happens when you have multiple worlds going on at the same time. You lose track of what you do in each. Do I update the map? I'm thinking so. You're talking about brick roofs because you saw the brick up there, or because you were thinking about brick for roofs? The farm I never use anymore. Because if I need XP, I go to the end. Can't remember when I built that though. I'm pretty sure it was release 1.2. Alright, so we are looking at... should be these 4 maps. Because I know I've cleaned up the area. Brick roof in the distance. So if it's in the distance, that means it's not this one. Where else have I used brick? Oh, over there? On top of the firehouse? I'm pretty sure most of the firehouse is made out of brick. Brick and stone slabs. See if we can get a better look from here. On top of the fountain. Yeah, most of the building is made out of brick over there. Bright red. Like the terribly designed fire truck inside. Let's not look at that. Yeah, we'll head on, update the maps, and while we're there, get the farm going as well. We have more carrots and potatoes to plant. See if I can bunny hop. Yeah, with all this back and forth, I really am going to need something. Oh, you know what I could do? I could design a subway system. I've been reading a book called The Lost Subways of North America. I should do something like that. I have not at all seen a mod that adds 50 different breaks. I haven't seen any mods in a while. Any new stuff, because I haven't been looking. And that's not content I would watch on Tube these days. Can't remember the last time I watched a mod review. It's been a long time. Oh my gosh, that one white piece on top of the house. The log cabin. So let's head back down here while we are in the area. Since I'm pretty sure I did some terraforming. Oh, I did some. Oh wait, the block museum had to be updated. Forgot about that as well. Alright, to the farm. Alright, I'll just set all that down. Alright, so, time to press the button. If stuff is available in peaceful, then does that mean... I should say, if there were more items available in peaceful, would that not make them redundant by needing to require them on difficulties other than peaceful? And what went here? Was it carrots or potatoes? Oops. I may or may not have been paying attention how I had the midsection going. Oh no, why'd you all stop? What happened? Everything was not supposed to collect there. Nom 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 nom. Let's see, any other issue? Not everything flew off. I wonder how that happened. So it looks like potatoes are in the middle, and then carrots are second from the middle. Oops. Alright, let's do something about all this. Back here, let's grab more seeds. Not more steak. I feel like if you added more options, what that end up doing is making things, people would always optimize the most effective route, because that's what people do these days anyway. Make the water stream one block lower. I'm pretty sure there's not any water here. I guess I'm about to redo all those seeds, but that's okay, I have plenty of seeds. Because I'm pretty sure there is no water there. But I should be uncovered because I maximized everything. Okay, why was there a pause there? Oh, I made a minor error. You know what happened? It's the farmland. The farmland's too low. Because the farmland is slightly lower, it gets stuck right at the ledge there. So everything logically worked if farmland was a full block. I understand now. Alright, hold on. Let me just toss all this. Alright, we're gonna throw all this into the hopper. We're gonna redo the farm later. Let me just pick up everything. Alright, so let's get rid of all of that and pick up everything. We're also gonna make the wall here 2 blocks tall because items keep popping up on top of here. So that's something to fix as well. Doesn't matter if it's more slippery if it gets stuck on that little ledge there. Slipperiness won't make a difference if it just zoop. Unless if it is, or if it takes the minor change in momentum anyway. Oh, what happened? Is it that slow? Did I do it wrong? I think I did this wrong to begin with. Why is it not filling up the chest? Oh, it is filling up the chest. Oh, you know what? I know what happened. We have 2 chests. Haha, I forgot about that. It adds momentum. If that's the simplest solution, then... Because otherwise, what I could do is just lower everything. Since the water only goes up to the farmland, how about I not deal with blue ice and instead I drop everything? Unless... Nope, that'd be more work. Alright, we'll swap it to blue ice and see how that turns out after I come back with more cobblestone to build up the walls. Which means I'll also need... No, the fences will be fine, because the fences are there to keep stuff out. Except for me, because I'm smarter than the average pig. Howdy Mega, welcome back. Alright, so for cobblestone, I'll probably just pick up a whole bunch of it. Because if it's 1 stack to simply go across, plus 1 stack to go back, there are 3 or 4 layers, so that's 1 stack per wall. So we're looking at 2 stacks plus 8 sections, which means 9 walls. So I'll need 9 plus 2. I'll need 11 stacks of cobblestone. Episode 444 is twice as many episodes as when I was on episode 222. Well, know what happened on episode 222? Finish my journey to the Farlands. Because you weren't here when I was talking about that during my intro. Alright, so... You pulling a Mazov and saying 1.7 soon. Oh, no, you're not. That was a typo. You say 1.17 soon, but it really comes down to we're looking more like another 2 weeks maybe. Because 1.17 is going to go by fast. 1.16 had a lot of release candidates and pre-releases. What else did I need? Oh yeah, I was going to swap out the ice, which means I should have enough packed ice to make a stack of blue ice. At least I hope I do. If not, we're going to have to take a journey. And unfortunately, we have enough time to do the entire journey. Which means this could be a while. Oh yeah, I got plenty of packed ice. I probably have only created the one blue ice to use it on... whatchamacalled? Use that one blue ice for the block museum. The flowing water is still... because... or is it? Hold on. The texture itself, I'm pretty sure, is unanimated. I'm not concerned about whether it's still or not, though. It's the angle I look at. I don't look at the texture, I look at the angle to know whether or not water is flowing. Howdy, you as well. Excuse me, Mr. Pig. At some point it'd be nice if I can animate the texture, but I'll have to do that myself, since the original classic texture was unanimated. I'd have to look at the animation for the vanilla texture. The one we got in... later in Classic? Or in Dev? I don't remember when the texture became animated. I could use the 1.5 texture sheet, because I think that's when you were able to change the water texture. Water and lava animated textures were originally procedurally generated, like the nether portal texture and the gear texture. Alright, so this is Silk Touch. Oh, I forgot an ice block. I forgot 2 ice blocks. Everything should collect at the bottom, so I can pick that up later. I'll probably... I wonder if I did anything for the packed ice texture, if I made any of my own changes to it. Because if so, I'm thinking of potentially changing the blue ice texture to match the others. We shall see. Water and Endev had the splashing animation, probably to help signify saying, hey, this is where the block ends off. Alright, where did the ice go? Wonder if it's in... I'm missing an ice block, and I don't know where it ended up. Come on, ice, I need you. Alright, now we gotta go track it down, because I don't know where it ended up. I mean, packed ice looks weird. It looks normal. Blue ice looks weird. What sort of texture is this? It doesn't fit with the other 2 ice textures. Oh, I don't need F3 and B. How'd you end up in here? Can I just pick it up? There we go. F3 and B would not have helped if it was hidden in the farmland. But I know what you were thinking of. Alright, so we got that problem taken care of. Let's go take care of the next issue. And let me zoop throw all that in real fast, as I don't need it currently. Alright, let's grab the goods. I grabbed 12. This should be plenty. So I'm thinking... Oh, that's right, all the fences are gonna connect. Where's my debug stick at? Oh well. Oh wait, hold on, I don't need it for the back wall here. You know what? No, I don't need it because all the items are going to be lower by this point. So I'll stop that there. And then just build it up all on the other sides. The good old days. I feel like having fences connect is more useful than fences not connect into full blocks. I'll keep the design simple, just like how people used to do back in the early days of Minecraft. As much as I quote I deactivate MC, I haven't seen one of his videos in a long time. I don't know if he's still around making content. Need something to be happy about because you can't have all the ice. The ice is kind of just a bonus because I realized that way I didn't have to worry about the water going right up to the very edge of the farmland. I added the ice to make sure that the items go forward. And nighttime's approaching. Alright, we're almost done. We can wrap this up, and then we'll sleep. If you're only using ice to make water in the nether, are you not using any of the water blocks for water in the nether? I don't know if you've ever seen it, but I built an entire water park in the nether, most of which was constructed using the water from test build 3. Some of those water blocks, though, I spent on my journey to the Farlands, because I just wanted to, ever so safely, cross all those supermassive lava lakes. I think I only used it 2 times. 2 times in the nether because those are the times I left the spawn chunks to visit the overworld. Load up the overworld farlands. Alright, there we go. Hopefully that's nice and bright enough to prevent any bad guys from popping up ruining the day. Howdy Paul, welcome back. Alright, now we should be safe to replant, and I did not do the math right on cobblestone, but that's okay. That just leaves this mostly full. And I don't know why I'm carrying around this yellow shulker box. I was done with it. Alright, away we go. So that's all empty now. Which means eventually it cleaned out. Hooray. Alright, we're gonna start out with seeds. It's a lot of seeds. I should say wheat seeds. But, back in the earlier days of Minecraft, this is the only seed type there was. So I'm used to just calling them seeds. Time to replant everything. This should go by quickly though. It'll start going slow once the farm is full, but we still have a lot of beetroot, carrots, and potatoes we're missing. Wheat's the only thing I have enough of to fill up both areas entirely. Of course, it was also my fault for doing the math wrong. This ended up being twice as large as it was supposed to be. Because I said 8 times 4 was 64, even though 8 times 4 is 32. So I ended up making it 64 blocks wide instead of 32. But that's okay. That just means I get twice the resources in one go. Is that a quote from something? Let's see, what are we at? Only 52 minutes. Still have over an hour today. You saved 80 cents. Oopsies. That's unfortunate. I guess all farms should be up, not down. A Minecraft meme about seeds. There are plenty of Minecraft memes that exist out there, of which I've never witnessed. I'm not much of a meme person. Yeah, look at all those seeds. I don't need this. I'm gonna need a composter. That's where all those seeds are going. Alright, so next, I said it was beetroot. I'll take the egg, thank you. I wonder if I can. Huzzah! No. It's possible if I just added a little ledge there. Otherwise I have to go all the way around. You saved money and didn't get sick. I feel like getting sick is more than saving money. More important. Why would I make a seed shrine? That's right, start down here. I'll need to come back with a ground tiller, but that'll be later. I feel like if anything, I should make a dedicated sacrifice area for the seeds. Because this happens every time. I end up with so many seeds, I don't know what to do with them. So that when I get the composter 1.14 and later, they end up in a composter. Why would I want to dupe seeds when seeds are so easily available? Yeah, now that one's done. Alright, beetroot's taken care of. I'll probably grab all the carrots and potatoes in one area, since that should be fast. There we go, that's now mostly organized. Found a bedrock derp. At first I thought that was a joke there or something. Do people even use the word derpy anymore? I feel like they don't. That was my generation of YouTube, you know, 10 plus years ago. I wonder if structure generation between superflat and default are the same. The reason why I was thinking about that is I was wondering if people have found a really good seed of a mine shaft that goes very far down, if that seed can then be used on a superflat world. Oops, I did it again. If they're looking for Grimstone down there, they were looking in the wrong version. Because if the mine shaft goes to bedrock, they're in the wrong version. Alright, now we're done. So now we sit, and we wait, and we let that do its stuff. So the next thing we're gonna do, we're gonna grab some shears, because I need to make more of the beehives. I was planning on having, proper English, one additional beehive in there. Or one additional bee nest, but I changed my mind. We're just gonna use all these honeycombs and make 4 additional beehives. Honey blocks to the side. Now just suffer. What I need to do is work from the bottom and go all the way back up. You used to be able to use fences underneath farmland. I'm kind of sad that doesn't work anymore. Great use of fences. And then they changed it. They changed the fence collision and how they function. When you say through the sides, it feels like I would have to give up space of either farmland or adjust the wall to be something I can get up. Because otherwise, you would use the honey block to slowly slide down, right? If it was within the wall. I don't feel like digging up the cobblestone at this point. And doink. So that's all full now. Oh, that's what I was gonna do with the shulker box. Gonna make a bunch of, or put a bunch of glass inside. There we go. Oops. Just replace dividing cobble with honey. So I was right in how I visualize it. Of which, I did not want to replace the cobblestone because I'd rather not have the items get stuck just as a additional means of attempting to prevent me from trampling the crops. Found some blue carbon, hooray! That means you must still be low enough down there. And that's some regular ice. There's the packed ice. I'll probably compare the colors between packed ice and regular ice. I could multiply the two. Turn that into the blue ice texture. Alright, so now, before I forget, I'm gonna place the map items back. Oh wait, is that where that dirt came from? I think I need that dirt back. Oops. Let's catch some Z's, reset the weather timer. As I look and see, we have an hour left. I feel like the amount of work taken to mitigate items getting stuck on honey blocks is not worth it. Alright, there we go. Think that's all nice and updated. Hopefully, the farm's not updated, but it's good enough for now. Besides, the farm itself will still need to be updated in the future anyway. Alright, so put that dirt back as I was supposed to. So now we can work on the lag spike as we cross more chunk borders. Now we can work on the beehives in preparation for more bees. Use something. Here, we'll use spruce because I currently have a big oak wood deficiency. Alright, away we go. The thing that's me starting at a subway station, though, is if I were to do a subway, I'd want to make the tunnel look nicer. If I wanted to make the tunnel look nice, that's gonna be extra work. Otherwise, I could just leave it as stone. Big old stone tube. Decisions. Of course, I'd also want to make it a loop instead of just a straight line. Yeah, that snow globe still does not look like a snow globe. I probably should have looked up a sphere generator, but it's a little too late for that now. Because it just looks like a giant pyramid, but curved. Oh well. Alrighty bees, we can now have more of you. I should say we're about to support more of you. Let me just get these down in place first. Alright, cool. So here's one, and there's two. Alright, now we're at 13 bees. What do I want the mushrooms for? Alright, recount 13. Let me just grab some more lilacs real fast. There are not enough bees to make more yet, but we'll keep them here. So now I have those in preparation for next time. And hooray! So now we can support up to 24 bees. And now we're sitting at 13. I call that progress. You know what I realized? It's not just iron golems that are disappearing. It started to occur to me the slimes are much less. I don't know if something happened, but it feels like there used to be so many more slimes around here. I see one, and that's it. So either I can't see them, or something with slime spawning has been changed. There used to be so many back in early release, and now they're just sort of not here. Maybe there's a reduced slime spawning chance if the slime chunk is exposed to skylight. That's how I would do things. I would help minimize slime spawning in Superflat as well. Although I don't know if they reduce slime spawning specifically in Superflat. That used to be a big dealio. I remember modded Superflat Survival. Those were the days. I almost think that was the first series I did when UMP went on break the first time. Alright, now I feel slightly better. Let's go look at the bounty board. Slime spawning goes way down. Oh, I'm totally ready. They were super annoying to deal with. I would totally accept even less of them. Because even back in 1.12, 1.13, it feels like there were many more slimes. Or at least the average amount there were beforehand. But I don't have to deal with slimes, and that means I also won't need to worry about the Iron Golem army much. The chain reaction. I wonder. Let me go take a look at my sugarcane chest as well as the paper chest, because I wonder if it's time to craft a bunch of that, clean it out. Clean out the automatic farm I have. Not a lot of sugarcane in there. I have a moderate amount of paper. Maybe I'll just clean it out. I think I'll need a shulker box. I want to say stone is currently unused. Alrighty, let's see. How are we doing? Oh wait, it's on the other side of the mansion. The mansion I never did anything with. It just sort of sits here. There's a lot of stuff that just sits here. Hello. So that one's full. And this one's getting there. Beep beep. Got blocks to place. Apparently I've not held sugarcane since the 1.12 change. Alright, so that'll funnel down. I'll just let it do its stuff for now. And then we'll check on the bounty board. See what we're currently working on. Because I know I have the project where I'm digging the hole, but I don't know how much I feel like digging the hole right now. I guess I could work on that, because if I keep putting it off, then it'll never get done. Sad times. I still hope to complete it before part 4 ends. I feel rather happy because I had a lot of stuff on the bounty board that when I finished part 3, they were just sitting there, half finished, or not even started. And then at last I finally started committing myself to getting those things done. There we go. Much better. In fact, what I could do Squeeze all this into one. And then now this can turn into paper. There we go. Don't know what I'll use this paper for, but hey, at least I'll have it. Maybe I'll make more books. I don't know what I'll use the books for. Maybe bookcases. I think I made a bunch of those though, right? I have a moderate amount of bookshelves, but I can always use more. I didn't play any 1.14 snapshots. I don't have any arrows other than the default. Maybe one or two spectral arrows, because I think those were loot for something. If I'm thinking this world. Let's go check. Here's all my regular arrows. I have 11 spectral arrows. Can't remember where I got those, but I picked them up out of a chest because I would not have bothered crafting them. Alright, so with this all taken care of, swap those. Be an organization. But I guess we're gonna pick up the light gray shulker box, use this for stone, then head back to the pit. Current active pit. Have to recatch some Z's and reset the weather timer. As we sit and we wait, eyes turn red, you can go to bed. Maybe that's where I got the recent nether exploration I did. Why do they give you spectral arrows though if they only shoot regular arrows? Oops. I left the door open. Now stuff can get in. Alright, away we go. After I feast. Gotta have breakfast. Alright, let's go find where we were last working. There was something happening. I can't remember how far down I made it on. On my beta 1.8 world, I also have a pit I'm digging out on there. Because I needed the cobblestone and stuff. Every time, every world of mine, I always end up digging out large chunks of the world. For different reasons. The one on Minecraft Legacy, that was a little too much though. That was a 4x4 chunk area, I think. That was quite a large volume, but thankfully it was an in-dev world. Which means sea level was half as low as what it would have been in vanilla. And I forgot I still am in the middle of working on redstone on here. I'm in the process of figuring out how to make redstone display as either on or off, and not display the different stuff. I'm working on the overlay. We're getting there. We're getting there. I needed a reference. How long did it take to dig out the area? F2 is your direction. Because that's what the F used to be for, although I don't think that's in the F3 menu anymore. There we go. Compulsive terrain smoothing. It doesn't stop. Alright, where are the goods? Should be, here it is. So yeah, this is 2x2 chunk area. Let me visualize. Yeah, I think it was 4x4. I was trying to remember if it was 4x4 or 8x8. I think it was 4x4. Alright, well, back to work. Oh, hold on, let me set up base camp. Making sure I sleep facing the correct direction. Alright, and now we go. First half 2018, second half 2-3 weeks was a lot of TNT. I don't know what I'm currently planning on using my TNT for other than more blast mining in the nether. I'm sitting on a massive stack of it just because that's what Endev gave me. Notch gave us so much TNT in Endev, so now I'm sort of sitting on a big mountain of it because turns out the amount of TNT required to cover a large area is rather low. If you haven't used your Endev TNT for anything, I'd say just keep holding on to it. At some point in the future, you'll find a use for it. What version are you currently still in right now? Yawn, as if it's been a long day. Beta 172, have you been utilizing the piston duplication bug? Or is that what you were talking about with the ice? Are you making large areas of ice in the nether? That'd be rather interesting, working on this giant pool. Use the coral fans for what? For the TNT. Why would I do bricks? At this point, why would I duplicate anything? For the scale of projects I have, and the amount of stuff acquired and Endev. Where's the fun in that? Did you not get it to duplicate ice because ice was not a solid block? Was it facing the correct direction? Because I want to say that's part of it. Technical details, hooray. Valkia? Have I never heard of Valkia before? Sounds like Valkyrie. That has nothing to do with Minecraft. Oh, I see. Pistons pushing ice is the ice and water. That's what you were referring to. Alright, we're gonna swap these out real fast. Go, Fortune, go. Because I'd rather just dig it up here and don't want to dig it up later. You can't farm pumpkins from Alpha 1.2 all the way until Beta 1.7. Pumpkins were in the game for a long time. That made them special. You know, like mossy cobblestone, you had to go out and find it if you wanted any. And then 1.8 happened, and you were able to craft mossy cobblestone. Just like Beta 1.8, you were able to farm pumpkins. Howdy, Ian. Regular streams are still happening for the next few weeks or so. That's right, saddles are now craftable, right? But not name tags. Name tags are still uncraftable. Chiseled stone bricks are kind of unique in that you could utilize Beta 1.8 stairs, stone brick stairs, dropping each of the 4 different types of stone bricks. So if you wanted to collect a whole bunch of this alternate stone brick version, that's a way to collect chiseled stone bricks before they were officially implemented. The other thing is, since they look like the default stone bricks, you'd have to make sure to keep them separate. But that also requires the foreknowledge of, in the future when you upgrade, they turn into the other stone bricks. Oh, he's running out of sand. What are you spending so much sand on? Is it glass? Or is it the TNT? No, you wouldn't need to make TNT. What else do you use sand for? Is it just glass and decoration? You could use sand for concrete, but that's modern. Sandstone is also Beta 1.2. Sandstone for a while was just decoration. It became more useful once you were able to make the stairs, slabs, and then even later walls and maybe that is it. You can make the different sandstone types as well. Here's a question for you, Ian. You're able to implement a frame rate counter in the game? That'd be useful. I feel like in regards to the world's largest cactus farm, you're limited to a maximum size of chunks that can be loaded. Because otherwise, the cactus won't grow. So what do we have? About 35 minutes. You just committed suicide. You can turn cobblestone slabs into sandstone slabs, I think. Otherwise, I don't know how cobblestone to sandstone would work. I'm gonna use the sword on you guys because I'm gonna need the slime balls. Did old Ender Pearl stasis chambers require the chunks to be loaded, and then in 1.21 they changed it so that Ender Pearls load chunks? Let's fill that up. Okay, so they did change them. Was there a reason for the change? Maybe it's to make sure that Ender Pearl usage was more stable, more consistent. I always wondered how in the past, particularly in 1.9, Ender Pearls worked when you threw them through an end gate. Because I always wondered, when the Ender Pearl goes through, how does it know what the land on the other side is without the chunk being loaded? How do they make crops grow? For spawning wardens, is it because they make a sound? I can understand that, but how do they grow crops? Almost noon here. There's a few more minutes and we'll need to sleep. I'll probably clean out my inventory then, because I think that should fill up the shulker box. Then I'll just keep the shulker box on me to make sure that slot is already allocated. So they can be used to load crops because the area gets ticked. Okay, I get that then. So it's just because the area is loaded. I feel like at some point though, you're gonna feel the performance drop if you keep this massive section of the world loaded. As time passes and you just keep loading more and more areas permanently. Don't have a way to get brown wool? When do cocoa beans get added to dungeons again? Because I've already forgotten that. We talked about this at least twice within the past few months. And I already don't remember what the answer was. They are in dungeons, but they're so rare? Alright, so then... See, it's not impossible. Maybe it was beta 1.4. Maybe that's what I'm thinking. Cocoa beans added in beta 1.2 for the dye, but they didn't generate in dungeons till beta 1.4. Because when they were first introduced in beta 1.2, you could not get them, I believe. I think beta 1.4 also added cookies, which is why they became able to be found in dungeons. I know they get removed from dungeons, but I thought that's later in release. Because they get removed from dungeons after they were already added to jungle trees. Which one I'm thinking is 1.6. It kind of makes sense that they're removed from dungeons. Because finding them in jungles is an easier solution. That requires you to find dungeons, or that requires you to find jungles though, whereas dungeons spawn everywhere. Why do you find it sad? It's just how the game goes. Another few minutes or so. Wonder if I'll finish with my inventory before I end up sleeping. I'll also be digging up all this ore once I empty it. You don't have a way to check a universal game tig. How long since the frame refreshed? Because then you could just do some math. Hello. There's some lava down here. Someone was brewing coffee ages ago. Aren't those coffee beans and not cocoa beans? Aren't those two different types of beans? I don't drink coffee, but isn't cocoa different from... I should say cacao beans. Isn't that all different types? Oh, let's fill up the inventory real fast. We're nearly done here. And not-oink. Alright, let's go put all this away. Catch some Z's, reset the weather timer, and then we'll be back down in the mine. Alright, so that's all now nice and full. Oopsies, which means I pick this up. Catch some Z's as the Zella Moon rises. And then we go from there. Where we go is back down here. I'm just gonna flood the lava with water, turn it into obsidian, then dig up the obsidian. I spent a lot of obsidian on something recently, and I can't remember what I spent it on. If anyone happens to remember what I spent a bunch of obsidian on recently, feel free to tell me. Because I remember I had a bunch of it, and then I was building something that needed it, and now I don't have a bunch of it anymore. Wanna bucket up the lava? I don't have that many buckets. Not a bad idea, except I currently do not have enough buckets for all of this. Oh wait, I could downsize, where I take one bucket and just keep pouring lava into one space. I could use the obsidian more than the buckets. I need the obsidian more than the lava gone. There we go. Gotta sort out the priorities. That's about 25 minutes, not 30. Hold on, I shall return shortly. I have returned as we go back to digging. What I'll probably end up doing is going to the end farm after this. I'll get the pickaxe repaired. Because now that the shulker box is full, I'm just trying to fill up my inventory, and then we'll be done. I'll deal with the lava another time. I'll probably also leave the iron and coal. That'll be a problem for future me as well. Lava sponges would be great. I wonder if we'll ever get them. This would for sure be a time I'd use that, since that would be faster than using buckets. You should dupe sponges. You don't want to wait till 1.8, or better yet, you don't want to wait till 11W49A. You're not that far from 11W49A. You can get as many sponges as you want. And howdy, welcome back. Alright, so that's nearly full. In fact, I could put the coal there. I guess if I picked up coal, I might be able to mine what's currently in the middle here. Back here, we'll get the pickaxe slightly repaired. Alright, well that was fun while it lasted. Thought I heard her slime. Oh, hello. I'll take more coal. Only maybe about a block or so. One more. I'll try my luck. One more. Okay, I'm not gonna try my luck anymore because it'll end up dropping 5, and that's not what I want. Game crash, there are sponges in your spawn chunk. Sounds like the game didn't properly save your block IDs. Alright, we're almost there. I'm ready to be done because I'm ready to go do something else. Although, truth be told, waiting around in the ender farm is not very fun. I still need to get up to level 139. I'm only at a sad tale of 82. And unfortunately, the amount of XP required to go up a level is very, very large now. The sponges only drop from Elder Guardians, which makes them limited amount. I can't remember if there are any sponges that spawn naturally in the temple. For as much as I say Sea Temple, Jungle Temple, and Desert Temple, it's Desert Pyramid, maybe Jungle Temple. I don't think it's a Jungle Pyramid. And then it's Ocean Monument. Oh well. Everything's a temple, I guess. Oh wait, I didn't pick up the bed. I've made a mistake. Oops. Alright, I'll need to come back for my sleeping bag. I guess that means I'm also going to come back for the ores. And now I have a lot of traveling to do. Okay, so they can spawn in monument rooms. Alrighty. Y54 shulkers. That's one double chest. Maybe you should do what Minecraft is supposed to do. Explore. Find all the temples to go get them. Did they change this lighting recently? I've noticed this as well. Why did they flip the dark and light for rails on ramps? I noticed this with 1.17, I believe. I don't remember if it was like that in 1.16.2. I'd have to watch that. They might have changed it. I don't know if they ever fixed it back because this always looks weird because the lighting for the ramps not matching the lighting for this has always bothered me. Paul, if you're talking why notch why for the lighting, notch has been removed for a very long time by now. This is already years since he was last at Mojang. Over 5. What is he doing? He was having a dance party over there. Alright, now I can toss all that, and that's full, so I can toss that in there as well. Alright, put away the coal, so let's go back, pick up the ore, since I have to go back and pick up the bed anyway. Put that into my offhand. That way I can get the XP as I mine the coal. And away we go. We'll see how much time we end up spending in the Enderman farm. Oh, nighttime approaches. Never mind, we're gonna wait a little bit, since I don't want to sleep until there. Now, why is he spinning around? I don't know what there is that would cause his pathfinding to quickly change directions. I've always kind of wondered that. What would cause mobs in Minecraft to just spin round and round? How can they not decide on a point to where to walk to? Alright, well, anyways, we are almost there. Eyes turn red, you can go to bed. Tiny Moon rises. If I'm lucky, we end off today at the Enderman farm, then that means I can spend my own time. I can spend my own time off stream before tomorrow's, gathering as much XP as I can. I don't know if I'll hit 139 because that's going to take me a while, but it's always worth trying. Maybe I should also work on a pathway to take over that area. Maybe I just need more pathways in general, make it feel like one big settlement. The thing with Endevia Plateau is it has all those streets connecting everything. It has a very extensive street network. Whereas over here, I just have some basic gravel paths. It doesn't feel like one big settlement currently. Eventually, though, it'd be nice if the entire bowl was compact enough that it was just one big settlement. One massive cluster of buildings. Well, there's a lot of surface area that I have to use. Thank you for your slime balls. I need these. Alright, we'll pick up the bed before I forget again. And then we'll go down and get the ores. Alright, that's all taken care of. Might as well carve this out. I don't know what I'll do with the cobblestone, but I'll hold on to it. Alright, anything in here? Let's just take a quick peek real fast. Oh, there's iron. Alright, so this is gonna be something I'll have to dig up later. I don't plan on smelting any iron for a long time because the amount of iron I have is a very large amount. And now I think we're good to just run back. I'm just gonna keep stockpiling iron ore until I get low. But that'll take a while. Unless for some reason I feel like building a minecart track, and that takes a lot of iron. I don't know what I'm gonna do with the amount of iron I currently have. Alright, you're bothering me. Sorry, dirt. You were just not needed. There's a duplication bug for everything, but that's not fun. Why do people play VR games? Because playing VR is much harder than playing regular flat screen. But it's a more enjoyable experience. Duplicating stuff is the easy way out. I'd rather take the more enjoyable experience. And I forgot some slabs. Oops. Now we got 10 minutes. It's gonna take at least 5 getting back to the end. So I'll probably just forget about those slabs until I see them next time. Still haven't fixed all your rails? Go find gold. Gold's not super fun to find though. At least it goes all the way up to level 35. But you might as well stick to level 12 when you're mining to pick up diamonds as well. There will be plenty of uses for powered rails, like a roller coaster, of which I still haven't done one on here. Here's the problem with your logic. What has to be classified as specialized? Why would rails be specialized? And I'm trying to remember what flower blossoms are. Are those something added within the past 3 versions? Because if so, I don't remember any of the features. I haven't been keeping up on Minecraft news. I've been busy doing stuff. Like, you know, trying to get my game out into the world. Thankfully, the easy part is done. Create the game. That's all the easy stuff. Seeing it from start to completion, that's easy. Getting it published is the hard part, because now I have to do all the legal stuff with the setting up the company and the Steam stuff. Specialized dupe that works on 1 to 3 different items instead of working on every item. So you're classifying the duplication method itself. I don't see the difference though. Go, go, go. While we have the speed. Paul, I feel like I'm gonna have difficulty working with the bedrock because you can't do anything with the bedrock in beta 1.8. Unless an Enderman is polite enough to move it for you. That can happen. I did pick up my bed, right? Yes, I do have everything. Alright, cool. We're just gonna spend the last few minutes of the day getting our stuff fixed up. Why do they want sand to be farmable? Deserts give you so much sand. Just dig up entire deserts. Sand digs very fast with efficiency. You don't even need a haste beacon for it. Unlike stone, where there's a difference between haste and no haste. We're halfway there, said Bon Jovi. Sand must be farmable for world eaters. But do we need world eaters? Or is it because they already exist, therefore they must continue to exist? This is the part where you turn the sound down. Because these Endermen are very loud. I feel like, no we don't need, but because they exist, they are desired. My Enderman Master's still in there, right? None of the villagers sell TNT. I feel like the trader, the wandering trader, would sell TNT. He has a bunch of random stuff on there. I feel like he has more natural items though. I would need to look at his full list of what he sells. His TNT would not be natural, although technically it is naturally generating. For what reason would a world eater be a need and not a want? What are we at? 1387. Did something important that happen that year? I don't know. Not a historian. The amount of pyramids required, though, because that's only... You only get 9 per desert pyramid. A demolitionist villager sells gunpowder and TNT. What else would he sell, though? Flint and steel. Oops. Let's try that again. An end-of-life mob farmer Y64 for 3 million drops per hour. But do we need 3 million drops per hour? What sort of collection system is required to maintain that many items? Come on, Enderman, little more. I didn't realize the shovel was so low on durability. We deserve 5 million drops, not just 3. Sounds like you're being entitled. You are not required to handle that many items. I feel like Mojang doing something extreme as 5 million drops an hour is unrelated to Mojang being lazy. That's such a far advanced feature or concept that it doesn't suit the vast majority of people, the vast majority of the player base. I feel like stuff that is more acceptable to average folks, more acceptable to a wider player base. Time to say something that I'm sure there will be people to disagree with. From a business standpoint, is it not more beneficial to cater to the majority than the minority? If you were trying to sell a product, wouldn't you want to sell it to as many people as possible? This is an extension of that concept. So touch is done. Good thing, because we're just about the end of the day. If you want to make your own Minecraft, feel free to do so. But I feel like Mojang's been slamming down on people making voxel games, voxel cube games the past few years. Probably longer, but in terms of it being a problem, it has only increased. You can't destroy the stack of 100 now? Why are you unable to do that? I don't know what sort of projects Mojang goes after. Maybe the ones they know they have a better chance of taking down. We've also hit the 2-hour mark, so if y'all have any final thoughts, say 'em now. It'd be cool if I show up tomorrow at level 139, but I don't think that's gonna happen because the amount of time required to work on that. So yeah, we'll be back again later. Or, sorry, we'll be back again tomorrow, probably doing something I'll figure out tomorrow. So yeah, that's indeed all it for today. Thank you all for watching. Bye.